Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. I'm in the studio or in this Zoom meeting tonight with Pastor Fieron. Am I saying it right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we go back to college days. Um, I, I was privileged to meet him there. He's a guy that I'm really looking forward to having this particular conversation with. Um,
Hmm.
as you guys might be aware of, we're about to. We're in the season of love. So we're about to hop into Valentine's Day. And I wanted to talk a little bit about love, right? I know lots of people talk about it. It's the subject of almost every song. If you really think about it, almost every song is in some way or another about love. And so I'm looking forward to this conversation. Pastor, can you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
So Demar Felix Aaron, a pastor at church close to Atlantic City. You all know Atlantic City. I know you know that in New Jersey, people call it the gambling city. We have everything there. It's just a beautiful city. Some nice folk there. I'm a chaplain as well. So married, and I have a son. And I'm just working and just trying to figure this thing called love out as well as we go because this is a deep conversation. But I'm originally from Jamaica. I'm the first of five children, and that's about me. That's about. I need to know anything else. I don't know sometimes how to talk about myself. I don't like to talk about myself, but I'm willing to answer any questions.
All right, all right. I think, and folks, history, right? This is the first time we have a Jamaican national on Family Reflections. Um, uh, the founders of Annual Pictures are St. Lucian. Annual Pictures is, though, a Caribbean company. So it's good to have a Jamaican person on the show with us this evening. Thank you for your introduction there. I want to start out with this first question, right? And it's I feel almost guilty about asking it because it's such a big question. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask, what do you think love is? What is love?
Wow. That is a big question. Yes, kid. That's a very big question. Well, the best way I can answer what is love, and before I answer that, I must say that love is not just a feeling that you feel that you never felt before. So that's not love because everybody have feelings. We all feel guilty. We all feel sad. We all feel this little thing in our hearts. Love is not because you saw a person and she's beautiful. She got the body like Jennifer Lopez and the dance like Alicia Keys or the voice like Beyonce and stuff like that. And you just have that feeling in your heart for her. So that is not love. True love goes deeper than that. To really love someone, so you gotta know that person. So you gotta know who the person is about, what the person is about, what he or she likes, what he or she wants to do. Because love is compromising, sacrifice, loyalty, and trust. All those things put together, and you get love. So, because love is a big word that when you look at it, it doesn't take simple minded people to love. Also, it takes grown, mature folk to love. So that's my other thing as well. You can't be yes, when you're a child, so you love your mommy, you love your daddy, and so forth. So there's different stages of love. So that's another conversation as well. What kind of stage we're going to? We have the children's stage of love, then we have the teenage stage of love when you meet a girl in high school, she be beautiful, and yo, I love that girl. When you're adult stage, you're ready to married with children and so forth. But let's just for conversation talk about the love between a father, like a husband and a wife. Let's talk
Okay.
about that kind of love. Love between a husband and a wife is a love that has to that God has to be at the center of that love. and I'm bringing it back to God as well, because I have to,
Yeah, it's all
because
right.
when you learn to love God more than how you love your partner, that's the ultimate love. Because being so married for a few years now, I can tell you that love sometimes can hurt, man. Love hurt, love heals, love give you joy, love give you peace. Love is just a beautiful thing. So that word, it has, so even Tina Turner sings about love. Celine Dion sings about love. We are all these people talk about love. Even God talks about love as well. And love, the true meaning of love is when you can sacrifice for someone. You feel you put that person needs above your needs.
Okay.
That is love, when you're willing to make that ultimate sacrifice for that person. No,
Okay.
no,
So
no matter what.
what stands out to me is that in your definition of love, first off, you mentioned that there are some things that are prerequisite to love,
Yes.
right? Not anybody can achieve uh, love, and I want to specify what kind of love we're talking about. I think I think it's important for us to state that we're talking about love between a husband and wife, right? Let's establish that. So, what are the prerequisites that you would say for someone to have the kind of love that a husband has for a wife?
What are the prerequisites? The prerequisites, I would say, is first, the person has to get to know who they're in love with. So you have to get to know the person. You have to understand the person likes, understand what they don't like. So that is a prerequisite, knowing the likes of the dislikes of a person, so that you can love that person good or well. Also, you have to. I read a book from Gary Chapman, five the love languages. So you have the
Yeah, the
love
five love
language,
languages.
five,
Yep.
five love languages. So you have to know your partner love language as well. You have to, because you can love someone, but you're not loving that person right. But when you know the love language of the person, and you love that person within the love language, then you're loving that person fully. Then you have that full compassionate love and a complete love, because you're loving the person the way they want to be loved. So the prerequisite is to know the person who you love and understand the person. That's the first prerequisite. You don't need anything else. You just need to know who you love and understand what they likes, what they dislike, and see how best you can show that love.
Interesting. So, would you then disagree with me if I said that it's possible to love somebody but not execute on that love in the right way?
Yes, it is. Because you're loving the person, but you're not loving the person the way how that person wants to be loved. For example, let me show you. Let me share an example now. I'm all over the radio now. Remember when me and my wife got married, and we got married first, and I'm a creature of, I like words of affirmation. That's my love language. Words of affirmation, holiday time. That's my love language. And you know how to love someone based off your love language. So anything you like, that's what you're going to give. We don't take the time sometimes to step back and to study what your spouse like, what your wife wants, what your husband needs, and so forth. So I was given my love language to my wife,
All
and
right.
my wife is not a words of affirmation type of love. My
All right.
wife wants physical touch. Because I'm not a physical touch type of guy, I'm not giving her the physical touch and the quality time. I'm speaking words over, I believe in you, baby. So you got this, I love you, baby, and so forth. We had a lot of problems there, communication things, and everything was going on there. Why? I love my wife, but I didn't know how to show her that I love her. When we started talking about it now and communicating, and I understand what she how she wants to be loved, then I could say, okay, I love my wife completely. And now I can tell her my wife is very happy now, knowing that I took the time to study how to love her. And I'm showing her the love she wants and not the love I want to give her. So, yes, you can love someone without loving the person right.
Okay. So now that we've established that it's possible to love someone without loving them right, is it possible to then say that even if you didn't execute on that love, it's you still love this person, right? You still love this person just because you're not executing on it properly. The love itself is still there.
Yes, you can love the person, but because they didn't execute it right, like I love like growing up. Let me share a story about that. Growing up in Jamaica, I have to share stories
Yeah,
to
go
tell you.
ahead.
Growing up in Jamaica, I had this beautiful girl, man. I had this beautiful girl, a high school sweetheart and everything, man. And I remember I was a star basketball player and everything. I love this girl to the boy. I was a good boy because of this girl. I didn't get no trouble. I didn't do. I was faithful. Everything because of this girl. I love this girl so much, man, and I did everything for this girl. I tried to do everything to show her that I love her. And the moment I decided that I was gonna be a pastor, the girl broke my heart. She said she would never marry a pastor, and she dropped me like a hot bread, man. She dropped it like it's hot. And I could not believe it that she dropped me like that. According to her, over the years when we started talking back, she said, Demar, I love you. I love you with all my heart, but I couldn't go into ministry. I'm not a pastor's wife. I want to drink when I want to drink. I want to party when I want to party. I don't want to be accountable to nobody. And being a pastor's wife is too much. I know that she loves me. I know that I love her. But the fact is, we weren't meshed together because she didn't want to go and take on a different role that she didn't see herself in.
Right.
So does that answer your question?
No, it does answer my question. Like the love is present, and it's just I think that's one of the saddest things about the human experience, right? Where people love each other and it doesn't work out, and you
Yeah.
have to find a way to move past that and move forward beyond that. Um, Folks, I actually want to share this story with you. It's not my story. I know I want to hear my stories, but y'all will have plenty of time to hear my stories as the conversation goes on. But it's the story of Romeo and Juliet. So growing up, I always heard people talk about it. It's a famous play, right? It's a famous play. And so everybody kind of assumes that everybody knows this story, but everybody doesn't know this story. And spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you how it ends. so, so if you want to check out the story for yourself, you might have to skip over this part. But I'm going to tell you all how it ends because I think the way it ends here is very important for our discussion. Romeo, right? Romeo, who loves Juliet very much, comes to find Juliet dead, right? At the end of the story. And in that pain and in that grief, he decides to kill himself and he takes his sword and thrusts it into himself and kills himself. But the twist is that Juliet was not dead. She had taken some sort of potion or whatever thing to appear dead because she wanted to trick whoever she was tricking. And when she now woke up, she saw Romeo next to her dead. And so she, in grief, in very much the same way that Romeo reacted, she takes her dagger and kills herself. So now both of them are dead because their love for each other was far more than their love for themselves. Right? And that one is a tricky one because that is a very romantic story. Everybody sees it as such a romantic story that it's become a classic, right? It's been around for hundreds of years. What do you think about that story?
Okay, I don't think that's a romantic story. I don't think it is a romantic story. Not because your spouse dead or whatever, you're gonna kill yourself as well. Love, if you love someone, you'd want that person to live as well and to live
Yeah.
a good life after. Not because that love is not love, that's selfish love. You see, friends, love is selfless. You can't be selfish in love. So Juliet killing herself, I think that's selfish. Romeo killing himself, that's selfish as well. So I don't see how that is. I don't see the connection of that's a true love story. I don't know what happened, but that's not love that I'm seeing. That's some.
So okay, I'm hearing you saying that it's selfish, but how exactly is it selfish? Because the other person is gone. You know, in Romeo's eyes, it was like, I lost this person, I lost her, and I can't live without this person, so he kills himself.
Yes, yes. I know a lot of females would not agree with me because they're gonna say that they believe it's a good love story and so forth. But I see the selfishness in sense of you're giving up you're giving up your entire life right now because the person dies. So you're telling me another love doesn't exist or nothing else exists? You're telling me that your life doesn't mean anything because of this one person? Love doesn't mean you lose your identity. Love means you have your own identity as well. However, you and your partner sort of becomes one. That's right. But if your partner, I'm sorry, but he died, she died, it doesn't mean you have to stop living. And if you stop living, or if you're living, that means you don't love the person. You living and remembering the person and still loving that person while you're living. So you can live and still in love. You can find someone else and still know that your first husband is the love of your life, and that person lives with the understanding, knowing that. And maybe I'm saying it's not a love story because I'm looking at it at a Christian perspective. Maybe that's why I'm putting on my blinders. I'm looking at a Christian perspective to seeing that you're giving up your life because that person died. Because the ultimate sacrifice that someone died for us so that we can live was Jesus when he died on the cross. He came and he died so that we can have life and we can live. And for Jesus to die for you, and then you turn around, give up your life. I
But
think that's selfish.
it's very interesting because to me, I see it at the crossroads of two kinds of love, right?
Yeah.
The love for self, which I think our current society is now seeing a lot more value in, right?
Yes.
The love for self has always been built into, since we're having the religious end as well. The love for self has always been built into Christianity, where the Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's assuming that you love yourself. But now you hear a lot more people talking about self-care and
Mm-hmm.
loving myself and accepting myself, which I think is a very good development. But it, it it really it really strikes me that intimate love can trump that. And so it sounds to me like Romeo and Juliet had an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not just me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ironic, man. It's ironic, and I know, guys, if you've been watching the past episodes of Family Reflections, you know that we sometimes discuss suicide in St. Lucia. There has been a trend of male suicide over the years, and you hear stories about guys drinking, gramoxone, which is a pesticide,
Yeah.
and killing themselves when their heart is broken, right?
Wow.
And that is very similar to the Romeo and Juliet story, where this love for someone outside of themselves trumps and supersedes their love for themselves, you know?
Themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's interesting to me.
It is. It is. It
So,
is.
question for you. I have another question for you here.
Uh-huh.
Love at first sight.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you said that you have to know the person, right?
Yes.
And that is a prerequisite to love. But what do you think about love at first sight? Is that real?
No, it's not. I don't think you can love someone at first sight. Well, maybe you can be I'm a big fan of J Lo, man. Like I can say I love J Lo, but do I know J Lo? Jennifer Lopez is my favorite. Every time I see her, every movie she acts in, man, I love Jennifer Lopez. I don't really love Jennifer Lopez. I don't know this person.
Right.
Understand? I don't believe it and love at first sight because number one, love is a choice, man. Love is a choice as well. You can choose to love, you can choose not to love. So love is not just a feeling. Love is a choice that you make. It is not just a feeling. Even the religious side, so the biblical view, Jesus died for us as well. So that is love. He made a choice to die for us. He didn't have to die. He could have said, leave this world. He made a choice. Why? Because he loves us. So he made a choice to die. So when you love someone, that is a choice you make to want to be with that person as long as you live or for whatever season you're going through. Because some people can love you through a season as well. Some people can commit to you for the rest of their life. And it got to be real. Some people love you for a season. Some people love you for the rest of their lives. You understand? So love is a choice that you make because you can love someone at first sight and you don't know how the person is going to speak to you, how the person is going to treat you. What if the person is full of hurt words? We all hurt people and so forth. So love is bigger than that. When the person hurt you, when the person cheat on you, when the person do things to tear you down and so forth, how can you love the person after? Or can you love the person after? And the answer is yes, because it's a choice. We are creatures of choice. That means we have the capacity to make poor choices, which all of us have done. We have spoken critical words and done hurtful things. But in the end, after all that, can we love the person for who they are? And if you see someone for the first time, just look at this. You're seeing someone for the first time, and the first time you're seeing someone, they're gonna curse at you. They're gonna slap you in the face. They're gonna do things malicious to hurt you. Can you say you love that person? You don't know the person that
Right.
you say you love at first sight. You love what you see. Because guess what? Men are attracted to what they see. And I'm not going to speak on the female's perspective now. I'm a man. So let me just say that. I don't want the female to listen to the podcast and go off.
Well, we,
But I'm
we know
saying
the
men
females are attracted to what they see as well, too, right?
okay, I can say that. But we are attracted to what we see. So when we see a girl first and we see her, I'm like, oh, her hair is nice. Or I won't say that on your podcast. Oh, her lips are nice. Or her nose. Or so we love the feature that we see, but we don't love the person. Why we can't love the person? Because we don't know who the person is. And we can't love someone who we don't know. Just for instance, how can you say you love God and you don't even know God? That's one thing as well. So you have to know who you love. So you can't just see someone and love someone. You can like the person, you can have not good feelings for the person, but love, man, love is a strong word. And you can't see someone at first sight and fall in love and say that. No, love is a process. We grow into love.
Right.
That's what we do. We grow into love. Love doesn't just come overnight. We have to grow into it. That's what I believe love is.
Okay. I'm going to give I'm going to actually try to justify the term love at first sight in my own way. Right. So here's what I mean. I I walk into this building, right? And I look to my left and I just see this girl and she's beautiful in every way that matters to me. She's amazing, flawless, right? And I'm captured immediately. What I just fell into is infatuation at first sight, right?
Yes.
And after walking up to her and talking, and we go out on a few dates, I'm starting to learn more and more about this person. But now this infatuation is growing and becoming something more mature and more knowledgeable, right? And after a year, 2 years, I know this person in and out, but now I'm no longer infatuated. You could very well say that I'm in love with this person, right?
Yes.
And then we go on to live happily ever after. Right? So, in that scenario, is it not then fair to say that I loved this person at first sight? And the reason I say that is because the process for this
Yes.
love started when I saw this person for that first time.
Yes, but that's every process. That you see someone, you have to talk to the person, and then you move on. That's every process. So what are you saying? Every person you see that you love at first sight. When I saw my wife, I love her at first sight. Then, because I saw my wife in a store, and I'm like, wow, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. This is it. When I saw her, I'm like, when I saw my wife, I felt something inside me at first sight because I loved her feature. I love her hair stood out to me, her nose stood out to me, her eyes stood out to me, her body stood out to me, and I'm like, whoa, that is, she's beautiful. So I love what I see. But yes, when I asked her out on a date, which she took forever to respond to me, and she finally went out on the date with me and stuff, and then I started learning things about her. And then I do realize that we have a connection, we have a bond, and I love her and so forth. We're married and so forth. But I wouldn't say it was love at first sight. I like her at first sight, and I love her feature and what I saw. What I see, I like at the time. That's what it is. It wasn't love at first sight.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I I I think of some stories where I feel like there's some room for gray there. Where yeah, I think I agree with you. But basically, what I'm saying is that oftentimes people love the idea of someone at first sight. You walk in, and very much
Yes.
like you just said with your wife, you walk in and you see her, and you don't know her yet, but
Yeah.
you love the idea.
Oh, exactly. The
You know,
idea of the person, and loving an idea is not loving the person. You
right?
love the idea. Oh, we'll make great kids. She has nice hair. My hair is bad. We'll make great kids. All right, I love her. Light skin, I'm really dark. We'll make great kids. I love the idea of the person. But to say that I love the person, that wasn't love as it. I was infatuated by her. She was beautiful. She has this gorgeous smile and everything. And what I saw, I see something so that I like, and the idea of her being with me, I like that idea. And then getting to know the person, that's when you get to love the person.
So hear me out. Do you think society, Western society, um,
Uh-huh.
has magnified the significance of love? And here's why I ask this, right? You look at the divorce rates in India. India is famous for the practice of arranged marriages, where parents go out and they find someone who they think would make a good match or a good partner for their son or daughter, and they make it happen. They arrange the marriage. Um, and the divorce rate in India is somewhere around 1%. All right.
Mhm.
Um, And here we are in Western society, and you have people saying, I'm looking for my peace, I'm looking for the person that gels the best with me, and someone I love, somebody I deeply care about. And in the US, from my research prior to this episode, you have a case where up to 50% of marriages end in divorce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
So
Yeah.
what's happening there? How do we make sense of that?
How do we make sense of it? So let me put it the best way I can. America has a lot of choices. You have choice. India, you already know in certain society, you already know that you have to commit to that person. You already have it in your mind that you're going to grow to love the person because you made a commitment already. And that's the commitment that you're going to stay with. But in certain countries, you don't have no commitment and you don't have anything. So you change, so you choose, you go around and you test the flavors. So let me put it this way. Everybody's gonna understand it like this. If you have one flavor of, of ice cream in the world, and I'll call out my favorite flavor, rum and raisin, and you love ice cream, you're gonna stick to ice cream. And if you don't want the ice cream, you don't want the ice cream. If you want the ice cream, guess what? You want the ice cream, right? So you want the ice cream. So either you want the ice cream or you don't want the ice cream. But if you want the ice cream, you're gonna continue buy the ice cream because you love ice cream. But then you have a Roman raisin, you have grape nut, you have rainbow, you have all these other. So you get the
Yeah.
drift where I'm going. You have all these different flavor ice cream now. So guess what? No, it's not Roman raisin anymore. But you have 10 different flavors to choose from. So now you're gonna pick and okay, I don't like that flavor. You put it back. To pick, okay, I don't like that flavor. I put it back. Pick, I don't like that flavor. You put it back. So you keep putting back, putting back, putting back. What I'm saying is, these countries already know that that's my husband. They make the commitment already. They make up in their mind that's what's gonna happen for the rest of their life, and they put it in their head that is everything they're going to give, and they have to learn to love that person. They have to learn to grow in love with that person. The commitment is deep, and sometimes I believe that because we have so many things to choose from, we don't make commitment to anything. And why we don't commit to it? Because we have choice. Some of these
Mm.
countries, they don't have a choice. So they
Right.
have to stick with what they have, and they grow into loving the person as well.
Okay, so then it's basically, if I'm gathering what you're saying properly, you're basically saying that it's because in Western society, uh, divorce as an option is is much more considered, right? So when people get into the marriage, they're aware, oh, if it doesn't work out, we get a divorce, and
Yeah.
it's just a flippant thing. Whereas in a country like India, it's it's not even an option in people's mind.
And yes, cultures, women have no rights. We have to take that into consideration as well. Women have no rights in certain culture. In other cultures, in America and so forth, they have rights. They can choose to divorce. If it's not working out, the divorce. Some cultures, a divorce is not an option, so they can't do that. And they have to stay into it and grow to love the person as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So basically, it's not so much that Western society has amplified or magnified the significance of love. It's just that cultural implications are different between the two places.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I I I I think that covers it. But I just found the statistic very interesting. But of course, different things can cause different numbers, right? Different things can
Yeah,
cause
because
different
it's a lot
statistics.
of different reasons you have to take into account for. But back then in the Caribbean, our grandparents used to stay with one person for the rest of their life, even abusing it and everything in it,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
still stay with the person. So it's a lot of different reasons that we can't pinpoint, and that's a different conversation. That's a long conversation that we can have. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a different thing.
Yeah, man. Um, I've heard, again in my research, guys, I'm doing more research for these episodes. In my
Yeah.
research, I found out that psychologists show that people tend to like people that like them. Do you think it's also the same to say that people tend to love people that love them? Is that true?
I don't think that's true. I think it can be true. And I think you're gonna more like someone who's going to like you. That's the first thing. But as I said that, I said I like J Lo. J Lo also doesn't know about me. She doesn't like me. But that's a different thing. I'm just joking. I'm just joking about that. But yes, you want to feel loved. You want to feel loved by people. You want to make sure that who you're in love with, they feel the same way about you. However, as a young man growing up, maybe you saw someone that was out of your reach. Maybe people tell you she was a 10 and you or a 5, but you still try to go off the 10. You feel a like for that person, but that person didn't like you. And then maybe you do something to reach a 10 and that person like you and stuff. So it's hard to say yes and it's hard to say no, but I'd rather like someone who likes me as well, for me to feel good about myself, man. I would love to love someone who loves me as well, for
Right.
me. Yes.
So, and I agree because I think one some of the worst situations that we find, even in terms of domestic violence,
Yeah.
and people treating people in very terrible ways, are really because the love is coming from one side. Um,
Yeah.
and also, there might be the presence of love from the other side,
Mhm.
but uh, it's just not, it's not reciprocated in the right way, you
Yeah.
know. So it makes me think of a situation where uh, a man or a woman loves another person, and that love is not reciprocated.
Mhm.
Now, at the very beginning of this episode, you mentioned that love is sacrificial and love is consistent, and it doesn't bend towards you know f- fickle things, right? Is the lack of reciprocation something that can justify trying to stop loving someone? Is that a contradiction there?
Yeah, trying to stop because they're not giving love, you're gonna stop loving that person. It can lead to it. It can lead to it because you're doing everything in your power to give love, to show love, and you give so much until you're tired of giving. So your tank is empty. Your
Right.
love tank is empty. So you don't have nothing left in your tank, and it leads you to be dehydrated. You need water, so you need love. Dehydration is not from water, no, it's from love. You're not getting the love, so you can't show the love. And you have to, so love goes both ways, man. Yeah, like it's a famous saying in Jamaica that if you wanna be happy, keep your wife happy. It's crazy. That's not so reciprocated. So for you to be happy, you have to let your wife be happy. And if your wife be happy, you're going to be happy. So that's the reciprocation there. That you give love to get love. But if all you're doing is just giving love, you're gonna get tired of giving love, and you're gonna, in the end, you're gonna stop loving.
But
Yes.
so I agree that that is what happens, but I'm trying to place that against the backdrop of what we said at the beginning of the episode. So we mentioned that love is a choice, right?
Yes.
So because it's a choice, why does it run out after you give and it without reciprocation? Why does the lack of reciprocation cause the love then to kind of run out?
That's a good question. Um, a few years back, I was watching a movie, Tyler Perry movie. I'm not sure. I don't remember the name of that movie, but the lady, Diary of a Black Woman, I believe, Diary of a Mad Black Woman,
Uh,
and lady was giving love, giving love, giving love so much. She loved this man so much, but the man was just treating her terrible. The man was a terrible man, and her love, her tank runs dry. Her tank runs dry, and as I said before, love is a choice. So you can choose whether you're going to stay in that love, staying with the abuse, staying with the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, the not getting loved. Why you're going to stay? You're staying in something that you're miserable and the person is not showing you love. Love is a two-way thing as well. Love is not just a one-person thing. It's a two-way thing. Two of you guys become one. And if the love is not reciprocated, that's not love. That's not true and real love. If it's true and real love, the person will love you back the way how you love that person. Or the other option, you can stay in it and try to change the person and try to love the person as best as how you can, not sure or guarantee that the person is going to change, but because your love supersedes everything else, you're making that choice to stay with the person despite everything else, and you're staying with that person choosing. So it is a choice. You can choose to love the person or you can choose to love the person. But you realize because remember we said first, you love the person, but because the person can't show you love back, you have to move on, but you still love that person. So a lot of people out there right now, they're in love with someone else, and so they're married to the husband. They're in love with someone else and they're married to the wife. But why? That person didn't know how to love them. So they move on and they still love the wife. They still love the husband and stuff. But a part of them, something they love, that love is not going to go away. But you know that the person couldn't love you the way how you wanted to be loved. Does that make sense?
it does make sense. It's a lot to unpack. Um, the viewers and listeners can go back and rewind and and really hash out what we're saying.
Yeah.
But one of the things that jumped out at me there is how it is possible to um, love two people, right? And how that's something that occurs. Because some people don't like to hear that. Some people don't like to think of that as a possibility or as something that happens, period. Or
Yeah.
they like to say that if that's happening, then uh, there's something wrong. Uh, I'm guessing that your opinion is that that's not really a problem.
It's not really a I have to tread softly here now. My wife is there. But,
Nah,
but
don't. You know, I'm not saying you don't think it's a problem. I'm just saying that it's an interesting discussion because a lot of people don't like the sound of that. Uh,
yes, yes, I understand that. But so put it this way: when we're in high school, as a matter of fact, when we're in primary school, grade school, we thought maybe we had one boy, one girl that we love, that we claim to love.
mhm.
Primary school,
Puppy
we
love.
love a person again. High school, we love a person again. College, maybe we love a different person. And then when you're old enough and you move from college, you find your spouse or someone who you're living with now and you love that person. The love for the other person, I don't believe just dies instantly because you're in love with your partner now. You're in love with your partner and you know that was just a temporary season in your life, or that was that person plays an important role in your life. However, this is your future. That was your past, but your partner is now your future, and you're in love with everything about your partner because you have found the one that you believe is the perfect one for you. So space is there, but just make sure that you love the person you commit to, or you don't have anything else inside your heart for someone from your past, but you give
Right.
your full attention to your partner now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes complete sense, man. It's just funny because life is complicated like that. Life is
Uh-huh.
complicated like that, and a lot of questions have a lot of room for gray because situations are different, people are different, and I know at the very top of the episode you mentioned that love is not a feeling,
Yeah.
but I want to point out that while it may not be a feeling per se, it does include feelings,
Yes, it
right?
does. Mhm.
And so those feelings are not simple. In fact, I have this
It's
saying
right.
that I like to say: matters of the heart are not simple.
Yeah.
So, and it's true, man. Matters
Yeah.
of the heart are not simple, and that's just one example of a way in which they're not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, man. But I really want to point out the importance of relationships and the importance of falling in love, because I feel like as much as love is magnified in Western society as compared to Eastern uh, the like Eastern societies, um, I really believe that uh, it's still it is significant, and the way that it's been magnified is not an accident, you know.
Mhm.
I think I very much do believe that people should be with the people that they love as
Yeah.
opposed to arranged marriage. I don't want the viewers and listeners to think that I was advocating for
Yeah. Yeah.
arranged marriage, but I do find it interesting how a lot of them work out, you know,
Hmm.
how these people get together and decide to love each other and
Yeah.
eventually do.
Hmm. Yeah. Some eventually do, and some maybe not. Some just stay in it because they don't have a choice.
Yeah.
As I said, we're given it. Parents made arrangements since at a tender age, so they have to stay in it because I think they don't have any other flavor. It's like the ice cream scenario, Roman raisin alone. You don't have any other flavor, so you have to stay with it. You commit to it,
Yeah.
and so forth. So yeah, I'm not for arranged marriages as well, but sometimes you have to look at it and you have to think how they are working out so well. Is it that people nowadays not committing to anything? Is it because we have so many choices and so forth? It's hard for us to commit. And it's right. Love is a choice. And I'm glad that people have the freedom of choice to love. And love is a choice. People are supposed to love or be with who they want to be with, but it's frightening and it's alarming as well. Not even 50% of whatever. The church itself has a high percentage of a divorce rate, and that is not acceptable at all. What is going on? Why people are not staying together? And if I could put a theological twist on this, I believe that the devil himself is attacking the family. That's what he's attacking. That's what he started out with Adam and Eve at the garden. What he did, he went to, I'm not even saying Eve, he went to Eve, and it started from that. The devil is attacking the family. He wants to break the family. He wants to have single dads, single moms, and so forth. And that's what's going on. We need to teach our society how to love. We need to teach our society how to be gentleman, how to be lady. We need to teach them how to be omitted, and we need to learn something from the other cultures and see what are we doing wrong, What are we doing while we can't stay in love? While we're changing girl, changing guys like that. In my country, we have a thing that a lot of guys, when they say they're in love with one person, but they have 20 different girls. But Bible days, concubines. They're like one wife and concubines,
Right, right.
and so forth. So now, why they say they're in love with that person, but everybody magnify that guy, and it's like, oh, he's a player. But if a girl, she decides that, watch now, I'm gonna keep 20 guys, we label her,
Yeah.
because we say what the guy do a girl can't do. We need to reteach our culture, and we need to love more. That's all I want to say about that part, because that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And in
Yeah.
fact, I think viewers and listeners, if you stick around with us in the next episode of Family Reflections, I want to talk about that. So you can look forward to that conversation. Um, I kind of want to dig into the mind of cheat people that cheat. You know,
Mm,
um, I want to talk about that a little bit. And yeah, that's, I think a lot of what you said there needs to be executed on in terms of teaching people to love, teaching people to rethink culture and rethink the way they approach intimate love in particular. Um, Absolutely. Now, right before we head out the door, I've already kept you long enough. But I want to ask this very very philosophical question before we head out of the door.
mhm.
We've defined love, and you've given your perspective on what love is. Um, God is love, right?
Mhm.
How does that fit into the shape that you just created for us in terms of the definition of love? Because you mentioned that love is a decision, love is a choice that you're making. You've given some of the characteristics that uh, create the sum of love. How would you then say that God is love?
Okay, I can preach a sermon right here. Let me just try to wrap this up in the best way I can, short and sweet. God is love. We say God is love because He made the ultimate sacrifice of sending His only begotten Son, Jesus, to die for us on the cross. The mere fact that we're supposed to be dead because of sin, because the Bible said the wages of sin is death. So we were supposed to die immediately. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't even be listening to this podcast right now, because you were supposed to die. Our foreparents sinned, and because of sin, we weren't even supposed to exist in this world. So God came up with a plan. God said that I love them so much, I don't want to see them suffer, because love doesn't, if you love someone, you don't want to see the person suffer. You don't. That's love. So God said, all right, the only person that can get the job done is my son. So He sent His son Jesus to die a cruel death, to die a humiliating death, so that all of us can have life right now if we accept Him. So God is love because He's reaching out to us, and He's showing us that He loves you so much that He sent His son to die for us. That's what the Bible says, for God so loved the world that He sent His only begotten son to die so that we can have life. He loves us, and that ultimate death that He died on the cross proved His love for us, because God risked everything by sending His son to die for us. And that is love. Stepping out, risking everything for the one that you love. So now, because God sent His son Jesus to die for us, Jesus wants us to show Him that love. So it comes back to the conversation. Love reciprocated. He wants the love back. He wants us to love Him back, because he died for us. He saved us. We're living because of him. And that's the ultimate love that Jesus shows us, that he loves us. So he died for us. He proved that he loved us by taking, by dying on the cross that was prepared for us. But he walked that street. He hung up on the cross and he died, and a crazy death, so that we can have life now. And that is love. That's amazing love. That's the love that you can get from someone who loves you so much. Someone loves you that they will do anything and put themselves in harm's way to show you how much you mean to them. And that's what Jesus did on the cross.
Right. So it sounds like we're saying that God is love because that is his character.
Yes,
That's what he's like.
that's what yes, that's the ultimate thing. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man, thanks for joining us today. We're we're at our time. Uh, I think we did our best to tackle a very difficult subject tonight. Love is not a subject for the faint of heart, no pun intended. Um, but I think we did our best to tackle this, and really skim the surface of a lot of really deep subjects here, in a very short space of time. So I really want to thank you for joining us here on Family Reflections. Folks, if you're watching this, we recorded this last week. Like we had to record this last week because, Valentine's Day yesterday is when we would have normally recorded this. But yeah, we had to pre-record this for you because Valentine's Day, you want to be with everybody deserves to be with the ones they love on Valentine's Day. So the next time you'll be seeing my face here on Family Reflections will be March 1st. All right. So watch out for us then. Pastor, thank you for joining us. And I really appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely.
No, no problem. It was my pleasure. No problem.